They're old ghosts in new garments trying to take us back. Well, there are. Taking away your freedoms, making it harder for black people to vote. Or have your vote counted. Closing doors of opportunity. Attacking the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion. If you can believe it, banning books about black experiences. Trying to erase and rewrite history. These black soldiers were a link in a distinguished line of patriots, enslaved and free, who risked their lives in every war since the founding of our ideals. We don't know fully what American soil is. Equality and freedom. She knew so long as she was denied, our freedom can never be secured.
What the is this piece of
A lot of people don't know how to register. Not everybody in the community, in the Hispanic and the African American community, particularly in rural areas that are distant and or inner city districts, know how to get online.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know.
Why is that guy always screaming at us? Oh, I know why. Because Dementia Joe right now is down nearly 30 points since 2020 with black voters. And it seems there's no end to the slide. It just keeps going down and down for Dementia Joe. I don't understand why. I just don't get it. No, I'm lying. I know exactly why. You see, all the Democrats can do is pander. That's it. They have no governing message to black voters. They don't have any governing message to Hispanic voters. Matter of fact, they don't have any governing message to any American. And they have no handbook, no guide, no help, nothing whatsoever that's going to help Dementia Joe with the hemorrhaging of black voters. And the same goes for Hispanic voters. I don't understand it. They really think that black voters are falling for their bullshit. Here's a news flash. We're not. Remember when they all did this stupid bowing down to Sir George Floyd? You know, the fentanyl abuser? How embarrassing was that? They may not realize it, but ever since they did that, they began to lose black voters. And what's really funny to me is that they don't even want to acknowledge it. For some reason, they think black Trump supporters are ghosts.
I thought it was interesting that the framing was a room of black Republicans. Where are they? Where are they? Because if you look at the stats, 81% of black men are part of the Democratic Party. Black voters consistently align with the Democratic Party. Over 95% of black women are part of the Democratic Party. So these black men that he was speaking with, I'd love to see them. It would be like looking at unicorns. And so I think that the sad thing is, I agree with you, Anna, is that this came from the mouth of a black man, right? And so if you're pandering yourself and your community and your history to a man like Donald Trump, who is a disgraced, one-term, twice impeached, convicted felon, we get to say now, is even more despicable.
I guess that makes me a unicorn. A big giant unicorn. I'm also despicable. I don't know about you, but my mom always told me you catch more flies with honey than you do with And if these libnuts really cared about black people, they would be spreading a lot more honey than the bull that they're spreading. They would speak to us with facts and substance. Babbling Dementia Joe once said that if you vote for a white guy, they're gonna put you back in chains. Sorry, Joe, I was never in chains, so that didn't make any sense whatsoever. Then he said, if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. Guess what, Joe? Voting for somebody doesn't erase the melanin in my skin. I'm still black and I didn't vote for you. And now he's made things even worse. He's taken it to another level. He actually said that voting for Trump is like endorsing the KKK.
They're old ghosts in new garments trying to take us back. Well, there are. Taking away your freedoms, making it harder for black people to vote. Or have your vote counted. Closing doors of opportunity. Attacking the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion. If you can believe it, banning books about black experiences. Trying to erase and rewrite history.
What the f*** is he talking about, and who buys into that BS? Old ghost in new garments? Who even writes this crap for him? As Jim Carville has recently said a few times, the message isn't working. Whatever you're doing, Dementia Joe, actually I want you to keep doing it because it's not working.
You know, we gotta try to think of something different, because what we're doing is really, really not working.
For some reason, Dementia Joe and his minions keep ignoring what black people really want. They keep ignoring what Hispanic people really want. Actually, they keep ignoring what all of America really wants.
Politically, having over 500 people in our community would completely wipe out any interest we have. Are you aware that there are immigrant advocates at state houses all over this country who are advocating for non-citizen voting in local elections? What if that happened here? That would change the mindset of what we as a black community need to thrive here in Chicago. That's a concern of ours. This is much bigger than the mayor of Chicago or Chicago Police Department. This is an effort to destroy our neighborhoods and silence our voices even further.
Trump versus Biden, who are you going to vote for?
Trump.
And why?
I like cheap gas.
Trump. I'm gonna be honest, Trump, because I feel like he did do a lot for us. I feel like Biden did more for like the immigrants. No offense to the immigrants, but yeah.
I think Trump's done more for Americans. Biden does more.
Yeah, for the immigrants.
Here's the real problem that they don't understand. Black people want the exact same thing as any other American. Every American wants peace. Every American wants to keep more of their money in their pocket. That means less taxes, Joe. Every American wants to pay less at the gas pump and at the grocery store. Every American wants to feel safe and secure, even in the hood, which the Democrats have ignored for decades. And all Americans want to enjoy the pursuit of the American dream. And unfortunately, under Dementia Joe, that dream is ending or out of reach for many Americans.
Bankrate found that on average, Americans are spending $18,000 a year to own and maintain their home. That is obviously a lot of money. When you think about it, it's almost like the cost of buying a used car a year. This is 26% more than in 2020. And of course, this is all on top of your mortgage payment, right? Yeah. We're talking about the cost of energy, the cost of property taxes. And the biggest drivers, according to Bankrate, are the fact that it's gotten more expensive to maintain a home and also the cost of home insurance. Now, we've seen premiums spike, right, for two reasons. One, it's the fact that the climate crisis has made it more likely that there's these disasters, right? We've seen wildfires and hurricanes and flooding. Then the cost of living, labor, materials, that's all gone up. So it's more expensive to repair when this happens. I spoke to a woman in California yesterday who told me that her home insurance rate doubled with no notice because of concerns about wildfires. On top of that, they have to spend $10,000 to repair the plumbing. Now she's taking on extra hours to try to make ends meet, and she's not alone, Kate.
How do they not see this? Because at this point, it seems that the only people promoting the American dream and all the ideology that I spoke of earlier are Trump and Black Trump supporters.
Democrats replaced a man in a black home a long time ago with the government, and we have got to reverse that. Just earlier, you were talking about tax cuts. Tax cuts are good for everyone. Hyperinflation that we're seeing right now is bad for everyone. So the message is this: what can we do over the course of the next 4 years to reverse the curse of Biden's economy? And that is elect President Trump. And you know what we know? Byron and I know that if we can get 25 to 30% of the black male vote, then mathematically Democrats can't win. But something I saw there that night too, Larry, was this: there were black women that were there too that were also very receptive to our message. And I think we have to understand as a community and as a people and as Americans that a strong economy, low taxes, not being dependent on the government is great for us. And President Trump can deliver that through more economic prosperity for the future.
Wesley Hunt hit on a few points that are absolutely kryptonite for the Democrats. Making fathers relevant again in the home and lowering taxes, That's for everyone. Did you know that right now over 70% of black babies are born out of wedlock? There's no dad. The promoted culture of the baby daddy has ruined the black community. But I challenge you to find any speech or any interview with any Democrat that promotes the black nuclear family. That's because Democrats have tried to actively destroy the black nuclear family for decades. It's been an evil plan. I can't even fathom why they decided to do that. Probably because they promote, how do I say this without getting in trouble? Baby removals? Yeah, that's how I'm gonna say it. And they need to keep people hungry and wanting to make sure that the crutch of big government takes care of them. Liberals and the liberal media can't stand for black people to be contributing members of the American society. And those of us that are, well, we're all clowns, unicorns, and despicable. And then, of course, we're also sellouts.
Frankly, what's really happened is that you have, Democrats and you have the Biden campaign, and some of the media want to twist my words for political purposes. The overarching issue is talking just about black families and why you're seeing a trend of black people leaning towards Republicans in this election cycle and probably in election cycles to come.
Notice he said black families. Again, like I said, that's kryptonite to the Democrats.
And part of that, is that when you're raising families, raising kids, etc., you're now thinking about all of the public policy issues, all of the economic issues, all of the education issues. And that's leading people to have divergence in political thoughts.
Absolutely. When you need to take care of your family, you don't want daddy government. You want opportunity. Clear the lane. Let me earn my prosperity so I can take care of my family. That's not what the Democrats want whatsoever in the black community. They need the black community captive. And that's what they've decided to do. And that's how they basically promoted and talked down to black people for decades.
That was the only point. The stuff that comes up about Jim Crow and twisting my words, saying I was being nostalgic or saying that Jim Crow was good for black people, that's all political spin. It's a lie. It's gaslighting. And that's truly unfortunate. Well, first of all, during the Trump presidency, he also signed into law reforms to criminal justice reform, the first step back, which actually helped get a lot of people released who were imprisoned under the 94 crime bill that was off.
The 1994 crime bill put a lot of black people in jail. Who did that? Oh, Dementia Joe. But they don't like you to know that.
By Joe Biden, one of the worst pieces of crime legislation that's really impacted a lot of people in the black community.
You and I agree on the 94 crime bill.
Yeah. Okay, so now I want to preface this. Joy Reid's got this clown of a guy. You talk about us being unicorns, that guy's a clown. And after Byron Donalds got done talking to them, you notice how she was stoic and kept a straight face while she was talking to Byron Donalds. Now she's going to sit here and they're going to make fun of Byron Donalds. Am I saying his name right? Byron Donalds and other black people.
All right. I mean, look, I think it's important for people to ask, what are these people paying for, right? Yeah. What are they getting for their $4 million they've given to Clarence Thomas over the past 20 years? And what they're getting, just to link your last segment together, what they're getting is what Byron Donalds wants. What they're getting is what Byron Donalds wants. He thinks that every black person who is a Trump supporter is being paid off, being paid to say what they want to say. Getting is Jim Crow, right? What they're getting is a guy like Clarence Thomas who, like Byron Donalds, entire judicial philosophy is that, well, some Negroes are magic, right? No matter what the white man does to us, we can just rise above as long as...
Can you believe this shit? I'm sorry, excuse my language. Can you believe this crap? This is what they peddle on MSNBC. This is what they want black people believing. They don't want black people believing that you can aspire to be a Supreme Court judge. Did they forget that Obama was president? Even though he completely screwed up the country, he was able to be president. Why have they just completely ignored that fact and are right back to denigrating successful black people?
They don't shoot us or kill us or rape us or drown us, right? And if you tell people that, if you're black, if you're Donalds, if you're Thomas, and you tell white people that, they will give you money. And that is what's happened to Clarence Thomas for 20 years. He has told...
Imagine this guy is saying that Clarence Thomas is a pawn. He's a monkey. He's been paid for. If you've read anything that Clarence Thomas has written and what he has done in his life, you would know that's not true. Because he aspires to see the black community stronger, it's bad. It shouldn't be that way. You should want people to be in the hood.
Told white folks exactly what they want to hear, ruled exactly as they would like him to rule, and done it as their black friend. And so the money is just pouring out. And you see it in these reports where, again, Clarence in the figures that we saw today, Sam Alito made like $200,000 over the past, disclosed gifts over the past 20 years. Antonin Scalia, the hero of their movement, again around $200,000. Clarence Thomas, $4 million.
It's wild.
It's wild. It's incredible. Clarence Thomas over 20 years has brought in $4 million in donations. Okay.
Why Tim Scott exists. That's why Byron Donald exists. That's why Candace Owens exists. Because the grift is good. There's a lot of money in telling white folks what they need to hear.
I don't really have much to say about that, except for one thing. Let me remind you that both of those clowns, wait for it, get paid by white people. Joy Reid makes $1.5 million a year to spew her madness, and she's paid by white people. Shh. You're not supposed to know that. You're not supposed to realize that grift. You're not supposed to realize that her and her fuzzy-headed friend decide to get up there and just spew whatever they want to try and keep black people where they want them, on the plantation. Don't look to get off. Stay right here. Those guys over there like Byron Donalds and Tim Scott and Candace Owens and me, we're all sellouts. We're all just in it for the grift. We don't want to see and build a legacy for our family. We're just clowns for the white man. That's what they want black people to believe. It's insane to me. To them, black people making money and fending for themselves and enjoying prosperity is bad, even though they do it. Make it make sense. I can't. They're hypocrites. They are the ultimate hypocrites without any viable message to the black or Hispanic community, and then they wonder why Hispanics and blacks are jumping on the Trump train in droves. But try as they may, they can't ignore the data.
Recent poll has Biden down nearly 30% among black voters since the 2020 election. What's changed? Look at the economy. The optimal color is not black or brown, it's green. You hear me say that almost every day. Trump has gained 15 points in that time. Congressman James Clyburn of South Carolina downplaying the numbers here. He says, I don't think black voters have left the fold. I don't know what is going on with the polling taking place here. How can the polls get that so wrong? That's going on all over the country. Well, not everybody sees it that way. Political reports, prominent black Democrats are setting off alarm bells over Biden's black voter problems.
Yeah, I mean, look at this change in the vote. All right, this is the polls at this point among Hispanic voters nationally. At this point in 2020, Joe Biden had a very clear advantage, right? 59%, 32%. That's a 27-point lead. Look at this tremendous shift. Oh, my goodness gracious. Now to 2024, Biden's dropped by 8 points, 51%. Trump is up 12 points to 44%. And you have what was a 27-point margin has been shrunk to 7. That margin has been shrunk by 20 points now versus this point 4 years ago. So it's no wonder that Donald Trump thinks he can play for the Hispanic vote. And it's no wonder that Joe Biden thinks he has to defend against Trump's advantage.
Maybe that moron on The View is right. Maybe black people with sense are indeed unicorns, because clearly she doesn't see us as real. We're just mythology. It scares them. Actually, it terrifies them to think that we are actually real. But at this point, that's okay with me. The longer the libnuts focus on a failing message for blacks and Hispanics, the better it is for Trump.
She knows so long as she was 9.
There's no defending that. No defending that whatsoever. I know it, you know it, and even they know it. And any American with a functioning brain also knows that.
I'll go anywhere I have to show that other black people are changing. They're changing their mindset. Like, even my great-grandmother, 95 years old, lifelong Democrat, is going to vote for Trump this year.
Hey, listen, the big debate between Dementia Joe and Trump is scheduled for June 27th, if it happens. And I'll be broadcasting it live, and I want you to join me. If you watched any of my live broadcasts, you know we have a ton of fun. 300,000 people tuned in to see my live broadcast of the Las Vegas rally, and I gave away a fabulous trip. So be sure to join me for the big debate. It will be undoubtedly a lot of fun, and who knows, you might win something. Just click here to register to be notified as soon as I go live. Thanks, and talk to you soon. Hope to see you at the debate.